We feel there are better alternatives to improve transit, like state-of-the-art bus rapid transit that will not destroy the character of Robbinsdale.
Residents from Robbinsdale and beyond came out in droves Tuesday night to voice opposition to plans for a light rail route. Nearly 100 people showed up to say they don't want the light rail route, not just in Robbinsdale, but also in Crystal and North Minneapolis. The opposition isn't against light rails in general, but against this particular route, which puts tracks down in the middle of County Road 81.
In my mind, it will destroy the small town feel Robbinsdale has successfully developed over the years, and one of the reasons I built my home here back in 2009.
It is profoundly disillusioning and disappointing, but I must tell you that you must not trust the Met Council.
Based on the reconstruction of Bottineau Boulevard and the new construction by North Memorial, it seems ridiculous to rebuild again and destroy a roadway that was built to improve the flow of traffic and instead replace it with permanent tracks.
Robbinsdale Mayor Bill Blonigan says he wants to see numbers from the Met Council that explain how the current light rail route would perform better than bus rapid transit. Though with $210 million already spent on the study, Blonigan believes the Hennepin County Board and the Met Council will push the project through, no matter what Robbinsdale thinks.
We cannot stop them if they choose to vote beyond our municipal consent to do this. God bless you. If you can turn this around where the Southwest people couldn't turn it around, I'm all for you.
Robbinsdale and other cities are expected to vote on the project either late this year or early next year. A Minneapolis man is facing 40 years in prison for the fatal shooting of a Brooklyn Park man. According to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, 32-year-old Dazon Yarbrough accepted a plea deal for shooting 28-year-old Daryl Sims II. Yarbrough admitted to shooting Sims outside a South Minneapolis apartment in April of last year. He was arrested more than a year later in Arizona and is being held without bail until his sentencing in November. This Halloween will mark the end of an era for a longtime Golden Valley business. As Delaney Cleveland reports, the changing dynamics of the flower industry are part of the reason why people in the northwest suburbs will soon have one fewer option if they're looking for fresh bouquets.
It's been an adventure.
In the heart of Golden Valley,
we like to talk to customers and find out what they're looking for.
Is a business that's centered around making occasions special.
We don't really have customers, we have, it's almost extended family.
Frank Bolander and his husband Mark Hall have owned Best Wishes Floral for the last 17 years. While some artists use paint, Bolander uses flowers as his medium of choice.
It was always in my head that I would like to have my own shop so that I could do what I do.
For nearly 2 decades, he helped people in the Northwest Metro create the perfect arrangement or find the perfect card for moments big and small.
We did everybody's corsages and boutonnieres for prom through high school, and then we did weddings for the same kids.
Yet after a long career, Best Wishes Floral is closing for good come October 31st.
You get to a point in your life and you just know that it's like, I can't do this for another 5 years.
17 years of no vacations, the rising cost of doing business, and changing customer dynamics can wear on a person.
You can go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of flowers for less than what I can do it.
Yet while there may be less expensive options out there, Bolander says what's missing is the quality and the customer service. Interactions with clients are what he'll miss most when this era wilts away.
It's just time for us to do this. It's going to be hard.
In Golden Valley, Delaney Cleveland, CCX News.
Community leaders toured BIPOC-owned small businesses Wednesday for a Brooklyn Park nonprofit's second annual business corridor tour. One of those businesses is Waterside Market. It's an African grocery store and restaurant in Brooklyn Park. Leaders from ACER, or African Career and Education Resources, say markets like these are the economic engine of the community.
These ethnic markets are here, they're thriving, and they're very, very successful. And so we want at, policies, legislature, dollars, access to capital. We want those issues to be attended to.
ACER hopes these tours help lawmakers include these small businesses when making decisions. Coming soon to Maple Grove, more living spaces for seniors. City leaders helped break ground on the SilverCreek on Main townhome project Tuesday afternoon. On what's now an empty plot of land will soon be 18 cottage-style townhomes for those 55 plus. Silvercrest leaders say this is the final step, and they're eager to get going.
You know, the residents who live here, which we have many who moved in back in 2015, have been just waiting for this final phase because they see it as an opportunity to have more people that they can get to know.
This construction will help meet the high demand for senior housing region-wide. Construction is expected to wrap up in August 2024. The Robbinsdale School District planted the first saplings that will eventually grow into a medicine garden.
So those sacred medicines have been used by both Dakota and Ojibwe people and many other indigenous tribes throughout the United States. And those plants have a meaning.
Students in the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee conducted a water ceremony and planted maple saplings this week at Sandburg Middle School and Highview Academy. The district will also plant a garden at Fair School Crystal this fall. The garden will include traditional medicines like sage, sweetgrass, cedar, and red willow. When the maple trees are mature, the district plans to tap them for syrup.
It's educational. We can bring in the Dakota and Ojibwe language, and any time that you can sample syrup, and use that, with our foods is a great give back.
Traditional medicines are used in ancient rituals by indigenous peoples to symbolize cleansing and healing.
The Wayzata boys soccer team, Class 3A champions a year ago, look to get back to the state tournament when they face Minneapolis Washurn Tuesday. Ches Moots has the highlights.
The only loss the Millers had all season was a 5-1 loss at Wayzata on September 9th. Washburn came out aggressive offensively, but Wayzata gets a run out in the 17th minute. Ben Eisinger is stopped, but Aiden Judicus with a follow-up. He scores on the rebound. Wayzata strikes first, up 1-0. Still in the first, Judicus gets loose again. This time the junior crosses one over to Eisinger, perfectly timed up, and just like that, the Trojans take a 2-0 lead. The Millers did get an opportunity late in the first half, though. Wayzata got called for a tripping penalty in the box. Axel Linares cashes in on the PK. That cuts the deficit in half at the break. In the second half, not much action, still 2-1. This is with 30 seconds left on the clock. Linares on the free kick. It just sails high above the crossbar. That would do it. Wayzata is heading back to state with a 2-1 win in the Section 6-3A final. In Plymouth, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata girls soccer team is no stranger to section finals. The Trojans have won 3 straight section titles and looking for a 4th on Tuesday. Chaz Moots has more.
The Trojans have won their last 3 section finals by a combined score of 15-1 facing Rogers. First half, Wayzata with a corner kick, Gopher commit Grace Espy, good ball. A great header from Michaela Adams. That put the Trojans up 1-0. They take that lead into halftime. Wayzata then came out hot in the second half. Just 30 seconds in, Tenley send in to Espy to Megan Sullivan. Some great passing there to extend the lead. Sendin scored 4 minutes later to make it 3-0, but still plenty of hustle from the Trojans despite the big lead. Check out the effort here from Davy Mokelke. Tracks down the ball, then crosses it past the keeper. Espy puts it away. Wayzata does it again. They're section champs for a 4th straight season, routing Rogers 6-0. In Plymouth, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Section 5-3A boys soccer final featured a rematch of last year's title game as Champlin Park faced top seed Maple Grove. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
3rd seed Champlin Park meets number 1 seed Maple Grove in the Section 5-3A boys soccer final. Champlin Park gets a great chance here, but Crimson goalkeeper Beckett Carlson robs Kafima Sano and it stays scoreless. Late first half and Rebels keeper Evan Martin booms it long. It takes a big bounce over the defender and Lester Arthur volleys it in for a 1-0 Champlin Park lead. But Maple Grove responds as the clearing attempt is blocked and Devin O'Callahan sidesteps Martin and tucks it into the empty net. The Crimson tie the score 1-1 at halftime. And O'Callahan sets up the game winner, pushing it to Gavin Chabika, and he buries the shot with 15.5 minutes left. Maple Grove is headed to the state tournament for the 9th time with a 2-1 win over Champlin Park. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
In Section 5 3A girls soccer, the Crimson girls team was looking to join the boys team with a trip to the state tournament.
The second-seeded Crimson facing top-seeded Spring Lake Park as the Panthers made a bid for their first ever trip to the state tournament. Spring Lake Park goalie Brooke Gorish made a number of big stops in this one. Here coming out to make the save in front of the rush from the Maple Grove forwards. There's no score at halftime. Second half, and off a Crimson corner kick, Gorish makes an aggressive play going up in the air to grab the ball and keeps this one 0-0. With just over 5 minutes to play, Spring Lake Park with a direct free kick from 20 yards out. The Maple Grove goalie, Diana Park, makes the save, one of 8 for her on the night. This one goes to overtime, and just over 2 minutes in, Crimson forward Maddie Nash curves a shot on net that's tapped in by number 25, Kira Gill. That's a goal, and Maple Grove wins 1-0 in overtime, their first section title since 2019.
Totino Grace, Benilde St. Margaret's, and Providence Academy are other local girls teams who advanced to state on Tuesday. Seeding for the state soccer tournaments takes place this Saturday.